Hello everyone, my name is Charmigan and I'm going to be showing you how to register an account with a Guildlaunch website. This is generally perceived as being rather difficult for XYZ reasons, so to help negate this I'm going to be going through the procedure with yourselves right now. The first part you need to do is make an account. You can do that by clicking on Apply to the Guild or via the Register tab along the bottom. Probably better we go the Apply to Guild route because that's going to be the one that most people are going to be using. Even if you're a member of the guild already, you can still use this to gain access to the forums. So we'll go ahead and press that. So once you've done that, you'll come to this screen here. Relatively self-explanatory. Your display name. Please note that Guildlaunch is a big company. Just because you're new to this guild doesn't mean that you're necessarily new to Guildlaunch or so on and so forth. And just like any MMO, if your name has already been used by somebody, because God forbid someone else is called Nutcracker or whatever, then there's a chance that you would need to alter it by maybe putting a 0 or a couple of numbers at the end, or maybe choosing something different entirely. Generally recommended to keep it in line with your character name so people can work out who you are and you don't accidentally get your forum access removed. The next one down is email and confirm email. Pretty self-explanatory. If they're not the same, it won't work. Password and confirm password, once again, both the same. If you don't put them in properly, then it won't work. Language English. I'd assume that most people watching this video would be English, but if you're not, by all means change it. And once again, with your time zone, you're quite welcome to change that to allow the calendar and whatnot to sync to your own time zone and give you the correct times for yourself. Good move. To be fair, I would do that. Finally, launch code. Now the launch code is a code that will immediately allow you to have membership access to the forums and other sections of the website. I believe that you still have to be authorized into a permission group, so if you've got, say, like a member permission group, you would still need to be given access to that, but I'm not 100% sure on that matter. But either way, it does give you access to some of the guild events, so like the rapid raid and whatnot, it would still give you access to that. So if you're in a guild and you know, and you have the code available for you for our particular guild, it's located in the guild information. You can enter that in there. If you enter that in, of course, then effectively that is the process over. So you would then have access to the site. You may not see the member section of forums, as I said, that's down to the permissions, but you would have the main access to the main site. Okay, so once you've entered all that details in, you'll then come onto the custom guild application screen. This is assuming, of course, that you haven't had a launch code and obviously that you've agreed to the terms and conditions and tick the box at the bottom of the screen. Now this window will change depending on your guild, but generally it is once again fairly self-explanatory. In this particular one, character name, class, and anyone with a red dot next to it are pretty much mandatory. If you don't enter that details in, then you won't be able to progress to the next stage. So I'm just going to type in some random stuff here, so say Nutcracker, just for basically because yeah, why not? And I'm going to be a warlock, social, tank, yeah, whatever. No. What games can you do? Events. I can do all days. There we go. So I'm going to do all days. Where did you hear about the guild? Around forums. Anything that might help your application. I am epic. would you like to be emailed when your app is approved or declined? As once again, this is completely up to yourself. I would recommend yes, but generally I would expect anybody to apply to the guild would check back on their application from time to time anyway, just to make sure to see whether anybody's approved it or whatever, and go from there. So I'm going to submit my application. It's all been processed. The wheels of fate are turning. Wow, look at that, everything's finished. That is as simple as it gets, applying to the guild. So that's for new people to the guild. Quid's in, happy days, we're past that bit. But now, assuming that we are a member of the guild, now that post that we've made is now appeared in the applications part, which is great, but we have a launch code, so why can't we use that? Well, the answer is you can. If you'd used it at the start, when you're making your login, then naturally you would already have members access. Generally, members access will give an extra button here for this particular site, but once again, the site, it would vary depending on the site. But in this case, we're going to click on Have Launch Code. So imagine you know what the code is. You would put it in here and then click Submit Launch Code. In this instance, the launch code I'm going to enter in. You can see these are stuff that we've used in the past, but this is all going to be changed by the end of this video. And we click Submit Launch Code. As you can see, automatically we've now got members access because the guild roster has now appeared in the top right here. We can go back to the home screen. If I go back to the forums, I can see the members section now. Oh, it does work. Hey. But ultimately, as you can see, it gives you there, and it also allows you to go into the guild roster and start creating characters and so on and so forth. So that's it in a nutshell. Really not a complicated procedure. Just requires maybe a bit of, paying attention to reading what it says on the screen. But hopefully you guys found that video useful, and if you, as always, you can find us on the website. And great, see you in game.